I would like to thank Claude Black for sending me this story, and I'm kind of wishing that he did not send me this story. Now, many of you know that my previous channels grew off of me doing a lot of opioid-based stories, and I usually find a lot of joy in doing those stories. But this is probably going to be one of those opioid type stories that I do not find pleasure in doing. Let me see if I can get through this. So in this picture, you see the man on the left, his name is Satwinder Singh, and on the right is a little boy by the name of Damian Turner Jr. So a couple days ago, this guy, Satwinder Singh, was driving and he hit this little boy who was in a stroller. He was driving in a pickup truck, and he was driving erratically, and he ended up hitting this boy, Damian Turner Jr. And it was a hit and run, meaning he was driving and he did not stop. So he was probably driving very, very, very fast. That's just the beginning of it. So the father of the little boy was also with the boy. He didn't die, he got injured, but due his injuries, he was doing his best to try and revive his son. Unfortunately, his son was put on life support, and then on Monday, they took him off life support. So the little boy died. Bear with me because, like I said, it keeps getting worse from here. This is where the opioid comes in. Satwinder Singh was under the influence of various opioid drugs while he was driving. And that's not all. This piece of shit was on a driving ban, meaning his ass was not even supposed to be on the fucking road, driving anywhere. They have deemed him a flight risk, meaning he can't even leave the establishment because he's not even from here. He's from India. And they gave him a $1 million bond. But luckily, the judge did not take this piece of shit seriously when he was in court, because they basically are saying we can't afford to move him. We don't care if he can pay the bond or not. That's probably why they set the bond so high. This thing was under the influence of opioids and hit this little boy, killed him, and almost killed his dad. Can you imagine being someone's father and seeing and having to witness your son die or die in your arms because someone was under the influence of drugs, driving when they weren't even supposed to be? They were under a goddamn driving ban. That's serious when you think about it. That means that they were a danger way before this even happened. They said cops who found him in his pickup truck after fleeing the Cincinnati scene and had to and this is the worst part right here. He must have crashed his vehicle somewhere, the driver. And guess what the motherfuckers did? They used narcan to revive his ass. They should have let that piece of shit die right there. On the scene, right there. But they brought him back. That shows you right there, excuse me, that black life is really not important in this establishment, to the point where you can drive under a driving ban while under the influence of drugs, hit and run and kill a little boy, a 2-year-old, almost kill his father. You almost die, which they should have let his ass die, and then they revive him with fucking narcan. I told you this story wasn't going to be funny. It's a shame that the very first opioid story that I have done in months, because I haven't done one in a while, has to be as tragic as this one. They said his license was suspended on December 22nd for cocaine possession and a DUI, which means his goddamn license just got suspended right before he killed this boy. And he still decided to go out and drive with a suspended license by doing the same things that it got suspended for in the first damn place. They said the case goes before a grand jury on January 9th. Me personally, I think it should not even be a grand jury left to decide his fate. Maybe they should put his ass right there in the middle of the road and let somebody mow his stupid ass over. That's how I would prefer it to be. Let's see if Narcan can revive his ass from that. They give these goddamn drug heads out here too many fucking chances to go and do that shit again. What if he had did that shit before when he got his license suspended the first time? The point of a suspended license is because you did some dumb shit the first time. Why are you still on the goddamn road? And then he gonna sit his silly ass up in that court and try to produce tears and say that he was sorry for. No, fuck you and your apology. You took this little boy's life and didn't even know it until you got in that fucking courtroom because you were being fucking stupid. I really feel for this boy's dad because he had to try to bring his son back to life and he couldn't do it. I can imagine how frantic he was. And then have to go home and tell his family what happened to their child or to their loved one. Because you were being fucking careless. Believe it or not, if y'all see me on the other side of the screen right now, I'm actually trying to hold back tears because this shit pisses me off. We losing our kids left and right to this bullshit. And it's not even fucking right. But I think I said all I needed to say right now. This is too much for me right now. I gotta cut the video off.